Hi all, here's a quick video on getting started with Hopoti Plus and just some of the uses of it, just for those who may have their own horse or keeping it at a Hopoti registered center, and some of the things that can be quite useful to know how to do. Okay, so first of all, I know a lot of centers in North America, their centers have actually purchased Hopoti Plus memberships for their riders. So one of the ways you can actually, if you need to redeem that and get started, so if you want to get started here, you just go to Hopoti Plus over here. This will take you to the main page. So if there's somebody who you need to actually go and buy it because you haven't got a subscription, that's fine. You can go work away. But if you have one that you want to just redeem, you can click on redeem gift subscription, and then you should have received a card basically that has your activation number and your PIN code. Pop those in, hit redeem, and that will then give you full access to Hopoti Plus. So once you have that, it'll show up here on the left hand side. Everything will be green for you. And then you can work away. So let me just show you a couple of the features here. Okay, so first of all, probably the most popular bit, I suppose, is the rider diary. So if you just go up to your calendar up the top here, click on that. And then you can see, for example, you can see lessons that you've had in the past, lessons that you have coming up, and you can add new entries yourself. So first of all, I just want to go and deal with one of the lessons that we've had in the past. So this is an extra feature. So you click onto this, and you can start adding your ratings for that lesson. So you can say, do you know what, that was a great lesson I had. Really enjoyed that. The instructor was fantastic. So give them a 5-star. The horse was great. And I thought I rode pretty well as well. So I'm going to give myself a big smiley face as well. Now, the big difference here is that you can make an entry to your riding diary here. So if you really want to keep a detailed track of your riding and kind of really monitor your progress going forward, you just click onto this. And now you'll see you've got a much more detailed bit of information here. Okay, so what you're going to do here, so this is obviously, these things are preset by the center, but say for example, you wanted to change for your, say you ended up doing something slightly different on your lesson, you can swap it out for one of these other categories if you like. You can have the date and time. That's, again, they're going to be preset for the ones that have already been set up by the centers. You can put in your duration is here automatically, again pulling from this, but say if it went over a bit, you can also change that there. This distance thing and the gates here is really for those who have you have the option to get the Polar Watch, which means that'll actually track when you're riding. It'll monitor the distance. It'll also monitor the gates. So that's quite cool. But for those who don't have it, you can either turn that off, or you can just manually select, okay, so we were walking for about 10 minutes, we were trotting for about 20 minutes, and canter for, so you can move these about basically and change, what were you doing for the various different times and lessons. The other things you can do here, you can basically say, okay, so today we covered some grid work, for example, and then you could say, okay, the feedback, instructor thought I was a little too far forward in my seat over the jumps. Need objectives, work on balance with exercises at home. To keep a better balance over the fences. That sort of thing. So you can literally pop in what it is, your own notes here, just to track for yourself. One of these advantages here, you have an option here to keep this as a private entry, so that's just going to be for you to be able to see, or you can kind of keep it public, and you have choices in your settings where you can choose so that you can kind of share this on your feed with your friends. So you can link up with friends who are also on Hopoti, and I'll show you how to do that now. So basically, there you go, and you add your writing diary, and so now that entry is there. So you've got that visually for yourself. If say for example you were riding and it's outside of a normal lesson, but you just wanted to add a new entry, you can do that. So you can put in here that you've got, okay, maybe we just did some exercise, Again, you just fill in the relevant boxes with what you were doing. It's not necessarily attached to a lesson. It's just some training you did on the side, basically, on your own horse, for example. You've got options up here where you can choose to show, well, what kind of stuff do I want to see in my calendar here? So you can see for me, I've got various kind of horse care entries for my horse showing up here. But if I want to maybe not see the horse care entries, I can just leave that off. And then close that one down, and now you'll just basically see that I just have my kind of lessons and information. So it's purely up to personal preference. In terms of sharing the information with your friends, you've got the option up here under your account settings, where you can go along basically, and you can link up with you can choose in here basically what you're happy to share, but also under here you can go to your friends, and you can invite friends to link up with you here. I've got a couple linked in here, but it's as simple as just copying that link and sending it to them, and then you can basically choose what you're happy to kind of share with your friends information wise. Okay, so just going back here, we'll just go look at a couple of other bits and pieces. So we went through the calendar bit. The other bits you might want to have a look at, obviously you've got your horses here. So again, you can have a look at your own horses here, and you can add horse care entries here. There's a separate video on that one you might want to take a look at. Very straightforward though, you can just add in new entries, both historical and in the future for stuff you have coming up. Another nice one is this thing of achievements. So in the achievement section, there's a couple of different ones. So there's some that are kind of coming from Hopoti in terms of the number of bookings and stuff that you've had. Some are from the actual centers where you ride. So for example, if they've awarded you something to say that maybe you've done a pony club test or something like that, that's then added digitally to your account as well. Or you can add your own personal badges. So this can be a very handy way if you compete at all, and you've been at a particular show and you've got a result, you can track your results at those just to show you how to do that. It's really straightforward. You just go to add badge, put in the name of the badge. So you can put in, first, second, or third of a particular competition, describe what the competition was. You can then choose, you can, adjust the template so you can go for the different colors depending on what you want the rosette to look like, for example. Yeah, pop in the details. If you want, you can have a different icon in the middle of it. So you could maybe have something like this showing up in the middle, and just add that to your profile there, and it'll show up here. It'll show up here like this, and you can basically track any kind of competition progress you've had, in the past. Again, in the same kind of way, when you want to actually kind of plan for competitions and stuff going forward, you can also do that through your calendar. You can start planning in what shows you're going to be attending, that kind of thing. That's quite popular. Another thing here is just these statistics. This can be quite handy, especially after quite a bit of time. So you can see especially if you're using the Polar Watch and tracking your riding distance, but you're getting the total number of hours ridden, and the number of lessons, any kind of riding diary entries that you put in. As just an included benefit of Hopoti Plus, you're actually getting a carbon offset for any riding that you're doing. So that'll show up here just how much you've done. You get other statistics then basically on the different horses that you've ridden and how often. You've also got stuff over here in terms of how many different types of lessons. So me, I'm kind of heavily weighted towards the private lessons, whereas some other people might be more for kind of regular group lessons or different types of things. And these are all the different centers around the world that use Hopoti that I've ridden in. So yeah, that's just a brief rundown on Hopoti Plus. So we hope you enjoy it.